All right. Settle down and listen in. Listen up. Listen good. Listen into this if you dare to discover something new that you want to find. Hey there, my friendly kids and friends and foes. It's me, it's your old pal, Uncle Talking About just interesting stuff guy. And here on the Interesting Talking About Stuff People show, today, kids, I want to talk to you about a real important, interesting thing, an aspect of our culture. Kids, have you ever heard of Carnage? Kids, Carnage is a comic book character. He's a character from comic books. He's also been in cartoons, and I guess he's going to be in a movie. He's going to be in a live-action movie, so he'll be a real person like you and me. But who is he? Who is this Carnage character? Well, kids, Carnage is he's one of those guys who fights Spider-Man. You kids are familiar with Spider-Man, right? He's a spider with all the powers of a man, and he swings around Los Angeles, and he battles parasites. No, none of that is true. You kids know who Spider-Man is. Everybody knows who Spider-Man is. He's a real cool guy. So Spider-Man got this space costume. He was out in outer space and his costume got ripped, and this alien was like, oh, here's a new costume. You could wear this. But that costume turned out to be like a living creature. And then that living creature had little babies, and his little babies, they ran off and they became their own little separate creatures. And one of those little creatures, it bonded with a serial killer named Cletus Cassidy. Now, of course, the most famous Cletus is Cletus the Slack-Jawed Yokel. Most folks will never lose a toe, but then again, some folks will. Like, it doesn't work if you say it that way. You gotta say it like a folksy, but some folks will. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Cletus is almost a joke name. They apply it to characters when they want to say like, hey, these characters are heck. Which is kind of offensive when you think about it. I mean, you shouldn't be making fun of people because of their social economic backgrounds. I mean, just because somebody grew up in a rural setting or because somebody didn't have access to like greater resources doesn't mean that they're a fucking sniveling sociopathic murderer. But I guess some people are, you know? Some people are murderers, and you gotta tell stories about murderers. This is a big thing in the fucking 90s where they were all like, oh man, comic book characters and comic book villains, they all should be fucking evil creeps, and we gotta compete with serial killer movies and TV shows where people are being real gross and disgusting. It was a big thing, kids. It was the 90s. We were just getting out of the 80s and fucking what was going on in the 80s, man? Gross out culture was a big thing, you know. The 80s gave birth to like the Garbage Pail Kids and Mad Balls and even like the Ninja Turtles hanging out and fucking killing people in the fucking sewers. Like, that's pretty disgusting when you think about it, man. Everybody the Ninja Turtles must fight must get like serious fucking infections of like, oh God, they stabbed me with their sword, and Leonardo carries that sword in an open sewer. So like, if one of the Ninja Turtles cuts you, you probably are gonna die from an infection before you die from just the cut. But you know, then they'll fucking cut your head off, and you'll be like, oh no, I'm fucking dead now. So Carnage. What's the deal with Carnage, man? Well, Carnage is basically like this giant living booger that likes to giggle and kill people. It's one of the shittier comic books I've ever read in my life. I don't know if that's true. I've read some okay Carnage comics. I've read some really terrible Carnage comics. Does that reflect on Carnage himself? Does that tell us who Carnage is and what the limitations on that character are? Man, we'll probably get a fucking Carnage movie sometime in the next few years, man. Fucking Joker and Venom got a movie, and Carnage is basically just if Joker and Venom were the same guy. Like if the Joker got the Venom symbiote and was like, I love to kill people. Kill. That's what Carnage sounds like to me, man. I can't stand that character. And it's not his fault, man. It's just he's shown up in a lot of shitty comics that weren't well written. In a lot of cases, they weren't even, like, I don't want to blame the writers that they weren't well written. They weren't given a lot of time and they weren't given a lot of money. They're just like, hey, man, fucking shit this script out over the next week, and then maybe you can pay one of your bills and not be a fucking homeless person living on the street and getting eaten and killed by Carnage. Carnage is... He does that thing where he just fucking I'm a sadist and I love killing people and I'm the least realistic character you'll ever encounter in fiction. Like, he's not based on anything. It's not like somebody like, oh, you know, I looked at these famous serial killers and I looked at the way they behaved and the way they spoke and I tried to fucking communicate that into this character. Nobody tried to do that with Carnage. Carnage is not thought-provoking. Carnage is not original. Carnage is not a commentary on anything. Carnage is just like, he's just like a blurry character in the background of a video game that exists for the hero character to punch in the face. And like, they were like, what's his background? He's an alien fused with a serial killer who just likes to giggle and murder people. We'll draw him with a big smile on his face. Carnage always has a big smile on his face. He's such a happy guy. Such a happy-go-lucky, freewheeling, free-laughing kind of guy. Always having a good time. I just find it really boring. I find Carnage really basic, kids. You know, basic, you know, when people are like, oh, that's cool. That's not even like fucking vanilla. That's like fucking neutral flavor. It's fucking gray flavored blandness. And then on top of that, Carnage has that whole like, whoa, check it out, kids. This isn't like comic books for your parents. Whoa, we're talking about modern comics where people get killed. Whoa, remember old Spider-Man comics where like fucking some dude would punch you in the face? Well, this guy fucking kills babies. He fucking kills babies and eats them. Whoa, kids, isn't that crazy? I find that shit so fucking like, yay, how original and thought-provoking, man. I've read some original thought-provoking stories, and they didn't sound anything like that, man. They weren't like fucking financed by the Egg Advisory Council, fucking trying to make you think that, whoa, finally an egg from my generation. I'm stealing that from David Cross, kids. Don't fucking pay me money for that bit. I stole it from David Cross, and he'll fucking sue my ass if he hears this show, but he won't, so it's all good. The fucking point is, kids, is that you can't fucking you can't let yourself be sold on marketing and advertising, because that shit, man, it'll confuse your mind, you know? It'll get all up in your face and all up in your business and be of like, oh, well, here's what you should think about this cool thing, kids. Hey, here's a thing you should buy and spend your money on. Oh, it's so outrageous and counterculture. It's so rebellious and different. Aren't you glad that you can pay $7 for something that makes you different from everybody else? This shows that when you fucking die, your life had some sort of meaning. You weren't just a fucking like a sheep or a face in the crowd like everybody else. You were something original, and you paid fucking $7 to show everybody. Oh, better get your fucking Carnage t-shirt to show everybody that, oh man, I'm not like those fucking Spider-Man fans. Like I'm into comic books, but I'm a pretty edgy, cool kind of guy, man. Fucking check me out. And fucking, it's fine, man. You can be a fan of Carnage. I don't have any problem with that, man. You can fucking like whatever you fucking like, man, as long as it doesn't hurt nobody. The Carnage does hurt people, but he only hurts fictional people, and apparently we're okay with that, man. Fictional people ain't got no rights, so don't try to fight for them, kids. You gotta fight for your right to read Carnage comic books. Hey, I've been Uncle fucking Flappity-Doo flipping his lips and his gums and making words come out of his mouth. And today, kids, I've been telling you about a comic book character by the name of Carnage Cletus Carnage Cassidy. And that's pretty special, kids, so thank you for being here and listening and sharing, like, and subscribe, and tell other people about this video, and come back and watch it again. And I'm gonna go make something for lunch, kids, so get the fuck out of here. No, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. You can go do whatever the fuck you want, man. I don't even care.
Okay, that's all she wrote.